Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be listing 5 fighters who I think could beat Islam Makhachev. And I'm not saying they would beat Islam Makhachev, and there's definitely some people that I'm going to list that have much better chances than others. And I'm definitely probably going to mention maybe 1 or 2 fighters who you know don't have the best chance, but I do feel like they do have a good stylistic matchup where there's potential where they can cause a problem. Yes, that's so 5 fighters I think could be Makhachev, not 5 fighters that would be Makhachev. Maybe gonna be 1 or 2 that would beat him in my opinion. Maybe 1 or 2, but for the most part, I think people that could, and again like good stylistic matchup that could potentially cause Makhachev issues. Again, whether it be a welterweight fighter, a lightweight fighter, or a fighter coming up from 45. But yeah, first I'm gonna get off with, or started off with, who I think does not really pose a necessarily interesting threat to Makhachev, and that's who he's fighting next. In Arman Tsarukyan, not really a super interesting threat. I mean, it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think he's gonna push him, but I think this how I think this how they match up with each other. I don't feel like Tsarukyan really poses such like an interesting threat. Like he'll push him, probably get one of his hardest fights just he did in his debut. But yeah, like he'll give him a good go, but I don't think stylistically wise he really matches up with him to actually beat him. Like you gonna get guys that can go there, they can last the 5 rounds with you, give you work for 5 rounds. But I don't feel like he's like, where's he really better than Makhachev? He's not a better wrestler, maybe a better scrambler, but scrambling not gonna win you the fight. Because then like you're gonna scramble to get on your feet. Makhachev's the better striker. Siakam might be a little bit faster, might be a little more bouncy, but the combination really ain't there. Kind of like an in and out fighter. Maybe 2 punches, two strike combinations at max, maybe 3. But again, limited combinations, very little inside work, and we seen that's why he got clipped recently by Joaquim Silva. Like getting no real, he ain't got no boxing, nothing on the inside, no defensive awareness, low hands, off. And he kind of got the same syndrome Robert Whitaker got, where like say like that almost like a little pseudo karate style, like you're in and out. You really got no hook to the body, no jab to the body, no uppercut to the body. Ain't got no hands up, can't roll in the side, rip nothing. You can't do nothing on the inside. It just I'm here, I'm there. You can catch me in that, when I'm here, and with my hands down, I'm gonna sit and duck. And when I'm here, I could get up on and close to you. What I'm gonna do? I got no body work, no nothing. I'm just like a N64 video game. Like I'm just de-evolved. Like I'm not evolved enough. Like I just have nothing there. Like I gotta get back to range and keep bouncing in, bouncing out. Like really nothing inside. Again, maybe 1 punch to the head or something, but or maybe a kick. Matter of fact, you're not doing no kicks at that range. By the way, Almas Yakran, like I said, he don't really do nothing that's so good for him in this matchup. Like I said, he's a good fighter, but I don't think he has nothing to say like this guy's so phenomenal. Maybe before Khabib, that'd be better because Khabib really they have no real fleshed out striking, and he can use those scramble ability to get back to speed, and he'll be a better striker than Khabib. But again, he's not fighting Khabib; he's fighting Islam Makhachev. So, yeah, but yeah, not him. So now let's get into the people that I actually think can pose. Not say that they're going to be better than Arman Tsarukyan, but again, stylistically wise, that's where I'm kind of going with them. And I'm gonna start off in his own weight class, Renato Moicano. At number 5, I think Renato Moicano can pose an interesting threat. Do I think he actually would pose an interesting threat? Most likely, I don't think he's probably gonna get to the title fight. But then again, it's like really nobody so interesting around the picture right now that he probably couldn't find his way to get a title shot. Like probably by the end of the year or something. Because again, what you got Poirier there, Chandler there, and Oliveira there. Like really nothing at all interesting about any of those matches with um Islam. I know people love Charles Oliveira, but the first fight between Charles Oliveira and Islam this should have just made everybody care literally nothing about that matchup. Like, hey, get somebody else new in this weight class. This weight class is trash right now. Get somebody else new here. Like, bring somebody down, bring somebody up, but we don't want to see that fight again. That's really how everybody says. I know a lot of people love Charles Oliveira and they want to hope and pray and think something different gonna happen, but nobody that fight don't need to be run back. That fight was not good. Terrible performance, embarrassing. But yeah. But as far as Moicano goes, I do think he's an interesting matchup. He has a good size, good build. He has a very solid grappler as well. Um, I think when he's on point, he's dangerous for everybody. But I do think he mentally checks out, kind of similar to Charles Oliveira does. But again, it's like a new refresher matchup. If he locks in, he could be a problem. Again, I think he's bigger than Charles Oliveira. I don't say he cracks harder than Charles Oliveira, but I guess it's just basically another Charles Oliveira matchup. But I guess the advantage of it, like kind of similar strengths and weaknesses to Charles Oliveira. Maybe not as much of a historic quitter as Charles Oliveira is. Probably more defensively sound, maybe more durable than Charles Oliveira. When Charles Oliveira, when the going gets really tough for Charles Oliveira, he has quit like 10, 11, 12, 13 times. Moicano maybe twice. So again, it's similar, but I feel like he would probably give you more rounds than Charles Oliveira did. And given that moment, I feel like knowing that he now, kind of similar position Charles Oliveira was, like he has been around a long time and he has never made it to a title fight, never won a belt. He would kind of have that locked him after like mindset when he gets into that fight that it's now or never, basically, like kind of how Charles Oliveira had to for a period of time had to lock in within himself, like, yeah, I need a belt. I've been trying to been in the UFC since I was like 21, 19 or something like that. This is my opportunity and I need to stop quitting, lock in. And I feel like that could potentially happen for Moicano. Again, he already has the skills. It's just about locking in the mental. Not to say that his skills are better than Islam, but I think he does have the overall skills, the grappling skills, the striking skills to match up in the build to match up with Islam. Again, not better, but if he can execute and come with a great game plan and execute his strengths against Makhachev's strength or find flaws in Makhachev's game, because it was even that long ago that Moises took down Makhachev and gave Makhachev some issues. Poirier gave Makhachev some issues, so it's not really crazy that Moicano, if he locks in, can cause issues or even potentially beat him. But he's probably, matter of fact, he is the lowest person on my list of 5 who has a chance at beating Makhachev. Then the next person I'm gonna go with is Mauricio Ruffy, also in the weight class lightweight. But I'm not really going with Mauricio Ruffy as of right now. Maybe next year. Who knows? Maybe this year if he locks in and we see the improvement necessary. But I think he matches up very well. And then he comes from a very good gym, the Fighting Nerds. Goes with a lot of high-level BJJ black belts. I'm pretty sure they mix in a lot of good grappling. I think Kamzat, jumped in their gym a couple times. And so I'm pretty sure he rubbed shoulders with him and got, again, I don't think they just like closed doors. So I'm pretty sure they're getting good high-level wrestlers coming in there. Obviously got good high-level BJJ practitioners. And then also they got a bunch of high-level fighters, MMA fighters, again, in their roster that's around his weight class. So he's getting good work all the time. Good frame, good striking. Defensively, he could be a little bit better, but it's not like Makhachev, some real good, great pressuring type fighter. If anything, I would still say Ruffy is much better striker than Makhachev, in my opinion. I think he'll show that if they ever fight. Makhachev is definitely the better wrestler. But the funny thing is, Ruffy already beat a very good training partner of Makhachev. People gonna always write it off once somebody lose. When that fight, Makhachev was like, "Oh, it's no way my training partner loses." Because Raymond Magomed Aliev, he actually is still a very solid fighter. If anything, I feel like he's a guy that could, if he went to PFL, he could be like the same as those other PFL guys who have won belts in PFL. Like I feel like he's solid enough to be a PFL champion, maybe a 2-time PFL champion, maybe Bellator champion. Like I feel like he's among that level. And the fact that Ruffy beat him on the Contender Series in upper weight class, that just shows you how good Ruffy is and how high his ceiling is if he is able to patch everything together. But yeah, I think defensively his biggest flaw is like in the striking when you pressure him. But Makhachev, by being, a grappler first, really, he's not gonna really apply that pressure too much. I know he doesn't make good game plans for the most part, nothing too crazy, but he makes okay game plans. I think his team and him, Makhachev, and he follows them pretty good. But Makhachev, I think he sees somebody going back a little bit, or he feel like he get him to shift and test that line, the octagon line. I think his initial instinct is gonna go for a takedown. And I think Ruffy has shown good counter wrestling, good scramble ability, and will be able to address that for the most part. Again, especially if he develops more. Again, right now, I definitely pick Makhachev, but Ruffy gets the right fights, he wins them, and shows the right development. I think, his ceiling, where he could go with it, I think he could cause very big issues. He could really, his stylistically, out of everyone that I'm going to list, I think he has the framework to build upon that can make him a stylistic nightmare for all Dagestani, like literally all Dagestani. He would look like the Dagestani killer. Make easy work all of them. Again, having a high level BJJ good range control for the most part, fast, technical striker, technical grappling. Again, nightmare for Dagestani. And Islam is no different. So if he was able to lock in, again, he only was like his first year in the UFC, but I can see him as a quick riser. I definitely see some harder stylistic matches for him, like maybe some guys that are big, long strikers, because I feel like he uses grappling more so defensively. And again, like styles make fight, but I feel like as far as against Makhachev, I think his framework poses a very big threat. Matter of fact, the biggest threat to Makhachev if he again continues to grow and develop his style, frame, and his whole body work. In poses the biggest issue for Makhachev. All right, so he's the second one I mentioned. The third one I'm going to mention is Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway poses a big issue. Well, not a big issue. I think he poses a good threat. I'm not going to say he poses such a crazy threat, but Max Holloway is going to be a sleeper. I know people are like, Max Holloway just lost to Ilia Topuria. He's light, he's this, he's that. But Max Holloway is a world championship level fighter, truly etched out world championship fighter. And you can say, yes, he lost to Poirier twice and Volkanovski like 3 times or whatnot. But again, styles make fights. And I think Holloway's defensive grappling is a lot better than Poirier's defensive grappling. If Holloway, builds into a weight class like he should, like he kind of did with Gaethje, but now he fully commits to the weight class, I think he's going to have more power, as it was already showing, in his past 4 fights, and then also in the Gaethje fight. And now if he really, truly locks into the 155 frame, I think he'll still have that speed, have more power. I think he's a much, much, much better striker than Makhachev. And he has a frame, like similar height, similar length, similar build, and then build onto that strength. Then he already has been developing his grappling defense. Again, I already said grappling defense is very good on his part. Wrestling defense has improved a lot. He'll have the speed and overall really the technical advantage. Again, where Makhachev will thrive is if he can get the fight to the ground and then try to, again, use that strength, use that grappling. But, with Holloway, it's really, what I'm trying to say. I'll just get past that. But, yeah. Holloway's not a quitter. He's hard to put away. I think what might hurt him now, again, obviously a good matchup. And obviously, Makhachev is in a better headspace right now because Makhachev is on top of the world. Holloway's come off a knockout loss. But again, Holloway do the same thing Pereira did. Put those wins together. Get like 2-3 wins together. Get his confidence back. Put the knockout behind him. And then go back to work. I think he poses a very good threat to Makhachev. And again, we look at the rest of the division. Like, again, most guys are either old and washed, or just, again, don't have the wrestling defense at all. Holloway has the wrestling defense. He has the grappling defense. He has cardio for days. Those are volume. Much more technical striker than Makhachev. So Makhachev, again, he's not going to be shy to strike with him too much. But I think he has much better cardio than Makhachev too at that. But he don't get too much in that. But yeah, Holloway has still young enough, good frame, good takedown defense, good submission defense, phenomenal striking, phenomenal cardio, phenomenal pacing. Chin, I think, still will hold up pretty well. And again, if that takedown defense holds up and that grappling defense holds up, and he's able to apply the pressure and apply the pace, he can cause very big issues for Makhachev. I think, again, if he locks in and he's able to get a groove at lightweight, I think he's one of the people that poses the biggest threats for Makhachev. So, and I think of all the people I mentioned, I think right now he's the closest to, because again, Moicano, I don't know if he's going to get to that point. I really don't. Ruffy, again, he just got here. He needs to stack some wins together. So we still need to see where he's really at. Holloway, again, he already could have just cashed in that title shot, but he chose to go back to featherweight, which was a dumb idea. And then the next fourth person I'm going to mention is the person who just knocked out Max Holloway. Reigning featherweight champion of the UFC, Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria poses a good threat to Makhachev, but I do think he's too smart. I feel like realistically his body build is like that of a bantamweight. He might feel like he's a super heavyweight, but his body build is really that of a bantamweight. But anyway, he feel like he can go up to 55. He got the power for it, he got the strength for it, he got the skills for it to make up for the lack of size that he does have. He might be small and tiny, like a little mouse, but he hits like a tank, so that's all that matters. And he has skills and the strength of a tank as well. Or maybe the skill of I don't know if tanks have skill, but yeah, he has the skill of a high-level fighter, which he is, but he has the punch and the strength of a tank. So that's a better analysis of what he is. So And Topuria, just as Volkanovski caused issues, I think Topuria been younger in his prime, he could cause the same issues, if not more, than Volkanovski. Like I feel like he just flat out better than Volkanovski everywhere. But for me, I feel like it will be a little bit too rushed right now. I feel like he needs to clear out his division, so maybe not this year, but maybe the next year, like 2026, he'll try that matchup. And if Makhachev is still around, that'd be a good matchup. Right now, I feel like it's maybe a little bit too rushed, and he doesn't have really too much experience at lightweight. If anything, the experience at lightweight showed that maybe he should kind of respect it a little bit more instead of trying to jump up to that weight class. But again, he said he's gonna try to jump up and fight Charles Oliveira, which is another dumb idea. I mean, not to say that Charles Oliveira would beat him, but it kind of like, what's the point? It'd be good for fans. Like, oh, I'll tune into it, and it should be a fun fight. But if he beats Charles Oliveira, it's not gonna really say too much, to be honest. Like, it's crazy that may seem, because it's not like Charles Oliveira gave Makhachev such good work. So like, you not really saying anything. Maybe if he's just went out there, flipped him on his head, and submitted him, that'd be like crazy. Like he just did it like so easily. That'd be something crazy. But or I don't know. But yeah, I can see if Makhachev was like, Charles Oliveira was like, again, had been one of Makhachev's hardest fight, which he wasn't. So it don't really prove much. It don't really even. And anything, if the fight does turn out to be a difficult fight for you, it's going to make the matchup less interesting of you against Islam. Like, yeah, you barely, matter of fact, you arguably lost to Charles Oliveira. Like, just go back to featherweight. You ain't got no chance. That's what people be saying. Whatever. So, yeah, no point in that. But yeah, clear out your vision, come up next year. Maybe get like one little warm-up fight in between again. Maybe get like a Michael Chandler or something, or Poirier or something like that. Those would be better matchups. Get those guys, wash those wash guys, and get them out of there. Retire them for good, which would be a good thing, positive thing. Retire those guys, and yeah, then get your shot. That'd be very nice. But yeah, I don't think this year is his year for that. But I think next year will be a great year. And I do think he, like I said, his build might not be the best, but again, he makes up for it with his physical strength, his technical skills, power. And it's not like Volkanovski was really any much bigger. And Volkanovski, we saw, gave Makhachev a lot of issues in their first fight, when he did have a full training camp, versus the second fight where he just came off the couch, which was not a good look. And also, again, another sign to Ilia Topuria: take the fight fully seriously. Don't try to jump up too quick. Do what you got to do first. You're still young. We're like 28, 29. You can come up here next year, be 29, or next year you be 30, or even 31, whatever case may be. You still be smack dab in your prime, and you'll be better for it. And then, again, it'll only make you a bigger threat for Makhachev. So, yeah, I think Topuria is up there. So who I've all I said Moicano, I said Ruffy, I said Holloway, I said Topuria. In the fifth one, this is upper weight class. This is Shavkat Rakhmonov is the fifth one. I think Shavkat Rakhmonov poses a good threat for Makhachev. I know for sure Makhachev probably ain't never going to take that match. It got to be a case of Shavkat just falls off, or Shavkat just, again, like, this shows poor takedown defense and poor grappling, and then Makhachev sees him as vulnerable or something. But that last performance was not enough for Makhachev to feel like, start licking his chops like, oh my gosh, this guy is such easy win for me. So I don't think Islam, Khabib, none of them built like that. They're not really guys trying to take challenges at all. They can say it and try to brag like they are, but they ain't those guys that really try to take real challenges at all. That's why they look to retire so early. But yeah, he wouldn't fight Shavkat, but there's a potential that fight could happen. But if it did happen, I do say that Shavkat has very good chance to beat Makhachev. I'm not going to get into who has the better chance, who doesn't that. But yeah, Shavkat, for obvious reasons, poses a big threat to Islam Makhachev. Again, for one, he's bigger than Makhachev. He's the welterweight, pretty big welterweight, like 6'2". Tall, long, strong, solid grappling. Well, probably nowhere near the level of Makhachev, but again, given that size, given that strength, and then given the grappling ability that he does have, I think he can do a good job addressing the grappling of Makhachev. Then with his length, I think that would cause Makhachev a lot of issues. Makhachev is really not the greatest striker at all. And when guys that don't have great striking deal with length, they struggle, which he would struggle with that. And I think Shavkat is a much better striker. And yeah, I think he has the ability to address the grappling. He'll be the bigger man, be the more technical striker. Might be the first guy that Makhachev fought that will probably in recent years that probably will be physically stronger than him, on top of being bigger than him, and he could cause him lots of issues out there, potentially. But again, it all really mean nothing until somebody actually fights. Then you can see who's really stronger, who's really this, who really that. Shavkat, for all we know, well, I'm not gonna say. I think it's pretty clear that Makhachev is a much better grappler. Not to say that Shavkat don't have no grappling. Again, that's why I feel he can cause an issue because he does have grappling. Does have solid grappling skills. Again, on top of being a welterweight, and, you know, jump from welterweight to lightweight, or the gap between it, like what, 15 pounds. The same boxing where no way is a 4 or 5 weight division champion only moved up 14 pounds. The gap between lightweight and welterweight is like 15 pounds, 155 to 170. That's 15 pounds. So like, and then on top of that, it could come in 1 pound allowance, so like 171. So it could be like 16 pounds just between that one weight class. And again, Shavkat's not a small welterweight so he's a welterweight. On top of that's a 16 pound gap. Then on top of that, he's a bigger welterweight. So yeah, I know like they like to brag how big they are to Cage, but Islam not that big. And again, size, skills, the stylistic matchup, Shavkat, you know, pretty much checks all boxes, and he'd be ready today. I think like the other guys, you know, might need a little bit of, you know, more fights to get into. Like Ruffy, he needs more fights. He needs to get there. He just got here. Holloway needs to get more fights to get back, you know, get to the weight, back to lightweight, get himself resituated, recalibrated, and fill into the weight class and all that stuff. So again, a lot of other guys, they need more stuff. Topuria, he is already little, but yeah, he still has to clear his division. So a lot of the other people, Moicano's the same. They need more work I feel, to get there. I feel like they have the framework, but they just need to build upon what they have or build back to what they had to, you know, match up with Makhachev and again cause those issues. Potentially have chances of beating him. Where I feel like Shavkat today, out of all the people I mentioned, he's ready today. And I think Islam today, he's ready to move up to 170 if he wanted to. So that'd be a good matchup if that happens. Somehow Shavkat wins the belt. Or I'm gonna say somehow I think he's the next up. So if he wins the belt, that's a good matchup. I know I would have put Belal on the list, but Belal and Khabib and Islam are such good friends, so that fight is likely never going to happen. So the only thing that would matchup that's kind of interesting right now at welterweight in the title picture is if Shavkat wins between the weight class, because right now there is no thoughts of no cross weight class fights. There's no thoughts of no champ fights, no super fights, because Belal, again, he's not really a super fight anyway, but as far as cross divisional, him and Islam are on very, very good terms. So that fight's never going to happen. But if Shavkat wins, that fight a fight between the welterweight and lightweight champ does open up. And yeah, that could be a very good fight. Again, I think both are ready for it if it is happening. But that's a story for another day. That's a video for another day if there is a video for another day. But yeah, what do you guys' thoughts on fights? Like, in the comment section below, what are some matchups you think are interesting for Islam Makhachev? Like, what fights do you feel like fighters can? What fighters around the welterweight, lightweight, featherweight divisions do you feel can cause Islam some interesting issues or potentially beat him? Or do you feel like would flat out just beat him or flat out destroy him? Like, give me some names. Drop them in the comment section below. Like, what do you feel? Because I know people love the lightweight division so much. Like, oh my gosh, this, that. But like, Gaethje ain't interesting. Gaethje ain't interesting. Poirier ain't interesting. Chandler ain't interesting. As far as an actual, which the whole sport is about and competition is about winning the belt, they don't pose no interesting threat to the belt. Again, Poirier don't. Gaethje don't. Chandler don't. Gamrot don't. Fiziev don't. Charles Oliveira don't. Like, these guys aren't interesting to the belt. So like, we look at a lot of people that are in that picture. Then you look at the people that's like Joe Alvarez. He could potentially fly up the division, but we saw with Arman that the grappling defense in there, he has no takedown defense and not really defensively sound at all off his back. So not interesting. He got a good build. Gonna have some good highlight reels, but when you look at the real bread and butter things, yeah, not an interesting matchup. Jalen Turner, the same thing. Arman, you know, he can pose an interesting challenge, but I feel like the way he sets up for him is kind of, he don't give him a good work, but it seems like he just don't have enough to, like, where's your real edge? He doesn't have an edge. He has the skills to be good working, challenge him, but it seems like he don't have the edge in any area where it would seem like he would be able to come out on top against Makhachev. So interesting enough, it's gonna be a good fight, but not interesting such as an actual threat to win the fight. But yeah, in the comment section below, let me know who you guys think is an interesting matchup for Makhachev, or interesting matchups. I know there's some I left out on there, so yeah. But I would say those matchups are at welterweight. Look up at welterweight and maybe find some of those guys, other guys who are interesting for Makhachev in potential fights, like guys that maybe might end up being the champion. Who knows? Because it might not be Shavkat, it might not be Bilal, who's the champion by the end of 2025. It might be somebody that we're not talking about. But yeah, for the fifth time, let me know in the comment section below. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Not fun with the ending, but come back for more videos. Peace out, y'all.